And I will just want to also give a shout out to my dear friend, Chris Pierce, who's an incredible musician. If you ever see him playing, his shows are like going to church. Chris Pierce has a song called All That Matters Is Now. And I hope that you will reference that. That's the whole thing is, okay, so it's like in this current moment, there are difficulties happening. It's like, but at this moment, there are things going on with family and there's like things with finances and all that. But it's like in this moment, I have this roof over my head. I'm breathing. I have food in my refrigerator. The weather's beautiful. I'm sitting here with you. Like my skin feels nice. It's like lukewarm. I have such great friends. I have such like amazing family. I love my family. I love my friends. Everything's like beautiful. So, okay, finances, I'm struggling. And it'll work out.
Hey there, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Allie, and we are back at it again for another episode of Living Life Consciously. We have a very special guest lined up for you today, and I'm stoked to get started. So without further ado, Justin, say what's up.
Hey, Cosmic Thrill Seekers. I'm Justin. This is Living Life Consciously, where we explore the extraordinary, ride the waves of inspiration, and embark on an adventure of limitless curiosity together. Shannon?
Well, thank you so much for calling me a very special guest. I feel very loved and appreciated, and thank you for hyping me up. It's so good to be here with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for accepting our invitation and for sharing space with us today. Okay, today we're joined by the incredible Shannon Torrence, an evidential psychic medium, intuitive teacher, and host of the podcast called Magic is Real, where she dives deep into spiritual awakenings, near-death experiences, and the mystical side of life. But before all of that, Shannon spent over 20 years rising to the top of her game as a successful voice actor in LA until one day she lost her voice, like quite literally, for 3 whole years. The unexpected silence would become the catalyst for something extraordinary. In this episode, we will talk about her remarkable transformation, how she went from expressing others' words through voice acting to becoming a messenger for spirit itself. We'll talk about how that chapter of forced stillness opened the door to her intuitive abilities, what it means to be an evidential medium, and why she believes that magic is real, not just as a podcast title, but as a lived truth. So whether you're navigating your own awakening, curious about what happens after this life, or simply ready to hear a story that will leave you inspired and a little bit more tuned in, this one is for you. All right, let's dive in.
What an awesome introduction. You really summed it all up perfectly. I feel like you get it. You see me. Nailed it. So thank you.
Love that. Thank you so much. I am super, super curious to hear how you went from voice acting to losing your voice to medium. I know that's probably like a really long story, but can you
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. How can we tell that story?
Yeah. How can we tell it? I'm going to be as succinct as I can be.
Okay.
Which is difficult for a voice actor to be succinct. But so yes, I am a voice actor. Again, thank God. But I was a quite successful voice actor, did a lot of commercials and nothing with a huge name, but a lot of video games and a lot of commercials and just working all the time, doing phone systems, explainer videos, YouTube videos, just so many different genres of voiceover. And I was really in my element. And that getting there took a long time of just studying, practice, working other jobs to kind of get there to a place where I could just rely on voiceover. And so I was at the top of my game, feeling so great. And then one day I got a voiceover job and I just couldn't. It's so hard to explain because it was what was happening. I'll bury the lead. I mean, I don't, is that I had vocal cord dysfunction, which was caused by severe reflux, which was caused by small intestinal bacterial overgrowth that went undiagnosed for years, even after this started happening. So, which is why it lasted so long. And so I had reflux for, even though I ate a really healthy diet and didn't have any of the others. I had no reason to have acid reflux. So, what was happening is acid was coming up into my throat, burning my vocal cords, and they became spastic. So I tried to read, and all the air, like your vocal cords for those, is this an on camera? So, but I'll also describe that your vocal cords are meant to flow. You're watching it. It's sort of like to flow like a butterfly, and they're supposed to come together gently and then open up and come together gently. But when they're spastic, they are fluttering, so they won't close. So if they don't close, air comes right out and you run out of air in 2 seconds. So I started to have what seemed like an asthma attack. Went to the doctors. They're like, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't see anything. Your vocal cords look fine. And I'm like, I can't. Like they just weren't working. It's like they're paralyzed. And so that's a long health story, and it's a long journey. I still have moments. And I had muscle tension dysphonia too, which was a secondary thing that happens when you're trying to strain to talk, and then your muscles become like rigor mortis because you're straining so much. It's like if you lifted a weight with your biceps over and over and over and over until you were shaking, and then you just kept going and going and going, and eventually just like tense. So it was devastating because I had only just started to really make big money and be really happy with my flow. And I went to a voice coach named Alyssa Weinzimmer, I wanted to recommend her to anyone having any kind of stuff. The same thing had happened to her. She was an actress and a singer and also struggled. So she's a wonderful voice coach. And after trying all these exercises, she's like, I said, how long till I get my voice back? She said, I can't tell you that, because I don't want to limit you. And also, I know it was because she didn't want to tell me how long it really takes to recover from muscle tension dysphonia. It took about 5 years altogether.
Wow.
And sometimes I still have little bouts of it where I can get really breathy like this. And now I have tools. But in any case, she said, we need to just stop because the stress was so bad, because I didn't have any money coming in. And I'm like, I can't even read books to the kids I'm babysitting for. I drove for Uber. I can't even talk to the people in the car. When you can't speak, there's so much you can't do, and to communicate. And so I was fortunately living with my boyfriend at the time. And so I had someone to help, but it was just devastating. And I went to her and she said, we need to stop right now. And I need you to just read The Power of Now, meditate, yoga. The reason we get muscle tension dysphonia is because we're so tense and we're carrying all this stress, and it goes to our throat. And so your muscles are like rigor mortis now from just holding all that tension in your throat. And it was also, you can also get it from just being a people pleaser, from also just not using your voice, not speaking up for yourself. So people pleasers are a lot more likely to develop muscle tension dysphonia because we are stifling our voice. So that would be what spiritual people would call the chakra. So my whole throat chakra just. So if you ask me the physical reason was acid reflux. The spiritual reason was I was a people pleaser. I never stood up for myself. I let people walk all over me. I still struggle with a little bit of that, holding boundaries, and not being authentic in my expression. So anyway, so she said, just start doing spiritual stuff. We need to regulate your nervous system. That's really what's going on here.
Okay.
And so I felt so frustrated, but she was right. And so I started to read The Power of Now. I started to meditate. I started to do yoga every day. And then I can't even tell you why. I just started to deep dive into near-death experiences on YouTube. I could tell you why, because I know that's what I was being called to do, but I didn't know why I didn't even question why. I just was interested all of a sudden. And then I was reading all of these books by mediums that, like the Long Island medium and John
I've
Holland.
seen her live.
I have too.
She's great.
My
Love
queen.
Teresa. Yes.
I've watched every single episode of Long Island
She's
Medium.
great. She's
And
absolutely great.
I dream about her. I always dream that we're friends. I dream that we meet at some convention and that I'm like, I'm a medium too. And then we become best friends.
I was just thinking you've probably been besties in a past or parallel life. So
I love her. She's my queen. So
shout out Teresa Caputo.
yes, shout out to her. And then I read Kim Russo's book, John Holland's book, Suzanne Giesman's book. And really it's John Holland's book and Suzanne Giesman's book, and even Teresa's mainly, even though I also love Kim Russo, that spoke to me because what they said was, you do not have to be, we're all mediums. There's nothing special about me. You can learn this too.
Right.
And that piqued my interest because I thought, man, I always wished I could do that.
Okay.
Didn't realize I was doing it. I just didn't know it. And all you need is belief, faith, and practice. You have to be obsessed with it. I mean, because I was so obsessed with it. And so I was living on credit cards anyway, so I decided to put workshops and classes. I took a class with medium Fleur, my friend Susan Schuler, who's a great medium, and started taking workshops around LA. I studied with Monica the medium, and that's where things started to really blow up because she had her own TV show. She offered a 6-week class that was very intensive. And my first class with medium Fleur was at, she rented a space out in LA. She lives in LA, or she did. And she did a workshop. And I remember thinking, I mean, I'm not going to be good at this. Like, I'm going to suck at this. But she had, because I'm like, medium, I don't know what I'm doing. And it was only like a 3-hour workshop, and that's it. So she sat us down and she did an heart-opening meditation for us and I started to feel my spirit like swirling in that way that you can when you're meditating, where it felt like a centrifuge. It was like, ooh, like I was sort of going in circles, and I really did feel something happening. And then we sat in chairs across from each other and sometimes blindfolded so that we wouldn't know who we were reading. And she had us run through exercises. And I sat with this woman and she said, all right, tell the other person what they do for a living. And so I'm like, okay, I just closed my eyes and I said, I see IKEA furniture and the Peace Corps. And she said, I just started a nonprofit organization for people in Africa to build furniture to to help them raise their communities up and also offer beautiful furniture to people. Wow. I was blown away. I'm like, that's it? That's what it is? And then I sat in front of another. I said, I'm seeing a fire. I'm seeing, and they said, go into her house and tell me what you see. I said, I see dream catchers. She said, yep, I have dream catchers all over my room, and our warehouse just burned down, our business. So it was so easy. I was like, wait a minute, that's it? Just see what's in your head and just say what's in your head. It's like, so when I teach it, I'm like, you guys, it's literally right now. Mm-hmm. If you're talking to me and actually looking at me, talking to me, also right now, pay attention to, like, if I tell you, for example, I'll start with this. If I tell you, imagine an apple, if you were gifted with sight, you've seen an apple before, then you know what an apple looks like. Mm-hmm. So when you're seeing it in your mind's eye, where are you really seeing it? It's like you're not literally seeing it, but you're envisioning it. So that's all mediumship is. It's like if I ask you to think of your best friend's name, you just heard it, but you didn't really hear it. You thought it, but you heard it.
Right.
You know how feelings feel. So like, how did this person feel towards you? Or how did they present to the world? Oh, depression. Or, oh, I'm feeling a little sad, or, oh, I'm really a happy person. It's so easy and subtle, and takes a lot of repetitive practice, because a lot of these thoughts that come in and out of our heads are our own thoughts. So if I just ask you right now, like, tell me the first image that comes to your mind, what is it?
I personally saw a rubber duck. Don't know why.
I saw a helicopter.
Okay, perfect. What did the rubber duck look like?
It was yellow with an orange beak, and it was floating in water.
Do you know where you saw that? Because
Why?
that is one of my best friend's signs from the other side is a yellow duck, a rubber ducky.
Are you freaking serious?
And he shows them to me all the time. And I have talked about it on my podcast. I've talked about it on Instagram.
What?
And you just got a message from Derek for me. That's yes.
Oh, what's up, Derek?
Helicopter, I'm not sure. However, it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Okay.
Like it could even, so just keep that in mind. Like a little rubber ducky is my sign from the other side from Derek. That is
I am shook right now. Like
I know. So the other day, a couple weeks ago, I said, "Hey, Derek, can you please show me a sign?" And I look at a truck pulls up behind me, and I look in my rearview mirror, and there are rubber ducks all over the dashboard, just lined up all over the dashboard. Then I called my friend Danielle, and I said, "Oh my God, guess what happened? I just saw this message from Derek." She didn't know him, but I had told her about him. And
I can't believe this. Go ahead, I'm listening.
So the next day, Danielle, who I just told this story to as an example of how spirit shows itself, said, look what just happened. I just walked into an elevator and look what was sitting on the little, what do you call that?
Like a ledge?
It's like the thing where you push the buttons. There was a little yellow rubber ducky sitting right on the ledge.
Oh,
So
wow.
so he passed the message through Danielle to me, and then he just passed another message to you. That's how easy it is.
Wow.
So now you're a medium. Now you know you're a medium, and so are we all. So a helicopter.
That just happened live. I mean, like, you can't deny that. Like,
Okay, so wait,
yes.
I feel like the helicopter was kind of like the second thing that came in my mind.
Okay, so tell me without thinking, what's the first thing that comes into your mind?
A race car.
Okay. You're a dude. It's like race cars and helicopters. No, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. But literally, you didn't stop to think. You just trusted it, right?
Yeah.
And it might be something. It might be something that I'm not thinking of. A lot of times, people are like, I don't know, and then later they're like, oh my God, I know what that was. So there may be another soul showing themselves, or this is a good learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our own thoughts just kind of float in at the same time. So it's not. Even when I do readings, sometimes I'm wrong. And I tell them that right off the bat. I'm not going to be right about everything.
Sure.
What matters is the stuff that comes through that deeply resonates or that's very specific. That, I might have some things and I might be wrong. But if I can tell you, you have someone named Terry on the other side, and you're like, Terry is my aunt, and I'm like, all right. And then Terry's saying she passed from lung cancer. And okay, Terry's telling me that she's really proud of you for getting a college degree. Yes, yes, yes. And then I say, and there's something about ballerinas. And they're like,
not so much.
And I'm like, all right, well, 3 things. 1, you might not know what that reference is, but someone might tell you later. You might have forgotten. I might be misinterpreting it.
Okay.
Or I'm just wrong. And so I'll still get a lot and then get some stuff wrong. It's because we're humans and your brain is the antenna for the soul.
Yeah.
So that's wild. Like that. So that's as easy as it is. I'm getting chills about it too.
Wow.
And that's the other thing is that when you're right, you may not, you might get chills all over your whole body.
Mm-hmm.
You might like right now I'm getting chills because Spirit's saying, yes, what you're saying is true and what we would like for you to share. Mediumship is trusting yourself. So I tattooed trust on my wrist. It's because I question myself all the time.
Okay.
Am I even a medium at all? Like there are some times where you're like, that reading sucked. And then there are ones where you're like, there is no humanly possible way that could even happen. So going back a minute, because this is the cool part of the journey. I mean, we'll get back to all that too, because you can ask questions. Is that I delved into this world. I started doing free readings every single day for 2 years. Not every single day. I meant like on a regular basis for 2 years, like once a week, twice a week, practice readings. And I started to be like, this is real. This is real. Magic is real. And so once I started to do that, I was like, well, my voice is still a little shaky, but I want to interview near-death experiencers. So I started I just was like, no one knows who I am. like that, why are they going to listen to my thing? And I just kind of felt Spirit being like, but everyone has a different thing to offer. So what if they've been interviewed 15 times? They haven't been interviewed by you.
Right.
So
Right.
I just did it and I started it. And Magic is Real is the podcast. It's on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. And through interviewing near-death experiencers, becoming part of the organization, the International Association for Near-Death Studies,
IANS.
Mhm.
going to the conference, becoming friends with everyone that I interview, because that, how that happens. Like you keep in touch, you feel
Right.
like, because you shared your whole life story with these people
Right.
and asked, and they've shared with me. All my friends are these people, right? So like not all of them, but most of my friends are near-death experiencers. And so I've learned a lot from them, but also developing my own mediumship. They have it's like it's all the pieces are coming together. And we're always, you too, always shifting and evolving. But what's really amazing is that I remember when I lost my voice and I was like, God, why are you doing this to me? And I wasn't particularly religious, but I just wanted to scream at somebody. I was like, why? Why is this happening to me? Why did I work my entire life and struggle as like
Yeah.
a waitress and an Uber driver and always in debt and never making enough money and never finding my place because I was trying to fit myself into these corporate environments and just finally found my thing. Like, this is my thing. And then it all got ripped away.
Right.
After 4 years, I finally said, all right, voiceover is just not going to happen anymore. It's only I'm only starting it again now. And I teach voiceover as well at a voiceover school called the VO Dojo in LA. Got to shout them out. And I'm so grateful that like the things that I can do now. I'm like, I just screamed. I just yelled. I just was able to do characters like oh my God. So that's beautiful. But this is the part of the story, and I'm writing about it in my book, which is 3/4 of the way finished. That when I was a kid, I had a large birthmark, a nevus birthmark on my face. So it was like a big brown birthmark that covered like this whole part of my face. For those listening, it's like half of my cheek. So I was already born highly sensitive and very empathic. Every day I was told I was ugly or weird or, because kids are just 2 and 3.
Kids
and
are awful sometimes, yeah.
They don't even know they just are like, ew. Like they don't, they were totally innocent little kids, but they said what they felt was like, what's wrong with that girl? And so I shut down and I stopped speaking and I stopped showing emotion. So I decided if I don't show any feeling, no one can see me and then I'm invisible. And which is why I became an actor, because it was like freeing. And I didn't speak for a few years and I was in therapy, and that's a whole long story. But so let's look at the theme, which is I don't speak as a child for 3 years, not at all. So I have no friends. My parents are wonderful. And my little sister, I had them, but I was isolated because of this. And it really messed with my self-esteem. I had super, super low self-esteem. I was really, really shy, just painfully terrified of social interactions, didn't trust anybody. And then in high school, I started singing in bands and I started to do theater, and then became a voice. It took a long time, but pulled to voiceover, got to express myself. And as soon as I was like, took myself on my first vacation as an adult that I paid for, Costa Rica. I'm on my bike. I'm riding down the beach. The wind's in my hair. I'm like, my bank account was stocked full. People were texting me, can you do this job? I'm like, I'm in Costa Rica. And I thought, this is it. I am finally here. I'm finally here. And I'm in the most beautiful place on earth. I love my life. I love my job. And a few months later, I lost my voice.
Wow.
So spiritually, I wasn't healed yet. My throat chakra had to shut down because it was like, you're a good actor, but that's not why you're here. And also, let's look at the things that are causing. Why did you lose your voice?
Yeah.
Low self-esteem, staying small, not speaking. And I was in a relationship at the time. I was living with my boyfriend, and we're still cool. So I won't say anything disparaging about him or anything, but we were not a match. And we were both holding a lot of resentment the whole time.
Okay.
So I was holding in so much resentment for the whole entire relationship, as was he. That also is why my throat shut down. So then cut to, I find my voice through me giving voice to spirit, but only then. And when I started doing that, did I get my voice back? You know, spirit, God was like, now we're going to give you your voice back. As long as you stay on that track, you know,
Yeah,
as long as you,
now that you're on the right track, you can have it back.
you can have it back, because now we've gotten you back where you need to be. And I realized that, and I'm grateful for it. And now I'm able to there isn't as much work anymore because of AI. Coming back to voiceover has been a little challenging. It's been very, very difficult because it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
The fact that when someone calls me and says, can you do a job? I don't panic and go, I don't know, can I get through it? The amount of jobs I strained through and sounded like shit, like just sounding like this. And they'd be like, we love it. I'm like, yeah, it's great. But I knew it was terrible. I mean, it was like, it would take me 4 hours to read a page to get through. And I'd have to stop and breathe and try again and stop and breathe and try again. And so, yes, so that's how I lost my voice, found my voice, lost my voice, found my voice, and became a psychic medium. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
Yes.
Wow, what an incredible story. I mean, I really feel like our spirit guides know what the heck they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they really know what they're doing. And before we got on the call, I was talking to him about how you had lost your voice. And I was like, I really feel like that had to be some sort of like spiritual lesson. Like, her spirit guides were like, okay, if you're not going to use that throat chakra, we're going to shut it down. You know what I mean? It's like that there must have been like some sort of spiritual reason. So thank you for explaining that to us. And then also another thought that we had was that we also know somebody else that lost their voice during a certain point and then became an ET channel. So it's like, again, in her situation, the guides and the ETs were like, okay, we're going to close down your throat for a minute, force you to go inward, force you to rethink some things. And now she speaks for ETs.
Yeah, she lost her voice
like
for
you
6
speak
months.
for spirit now, she speaks for ETs now. So I really feel like there's a
I have to meet her.
Yeah.
Introduce you.
That'd be awesome.
Please introduce me. What's her name?
Allison Ollie.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. She just did a summer camp, spiritual retreat that we just went to.
Yeah, it was fun.
In Arkansas, in the Ozarks Mountains. It was great.
Yep.
I got to ask if she wants to do my podcast, because we'd have a lot to talk about.
Oh, I'm sure she would. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really exactly, you get it. You get exactly what happened. Spirit took my voice away. Mm-hmm. Because I had to learn to use it in a different way, and I had to learn to speak up. And I find now that I've done a lot of self-help work. I did 12-step work around sex and love addiction. That's a whole other book in it. Well, and that's what my book is about.
Okay.
Do you have a title yet?
No, I'm gonna have to finish it and then fit. But so the book, I want to do a self-help, self-love, sort of a self-help book for people. Because to me, sex and love addiction is the core of all addictions. So whether it's gambling, drinking, weed, at the core of it is love. Like, at the core of it is we're missing self-love and spiritual love. I want to say God's love, whatever that means to you. The God of your understanding. So at the core of it all is we're looking, at least for me, I was looking for everything in other people. So even just like friends, bosses, letting them, like, I needed their validation. So it's like, I always have to be good. I always have to people please. And if
I was just thinking, there's that people pleaser theme again.
It's so, I mean, it's like, I still wrestle. I still get really rejection sensitive, but I always say thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it. Inside, I'm like, it's like the worst feeling it feels like I'm going to die. But why do I feel like I'm going to die? And why did I feel like I was going to die when all of the unavailable men rejected a relationship with me? Not me. A relationship with me, which I wish I'd understood then, with anyone. Because we are primal beings. So for survival, we are in a pack. If your herd rejects you, you're going to get eaten by a predator. So when we when we have sex with somebody, for example, there's oxytocin bonding. That's for survival, because that's okay. Now we're bonded so that you sit on the egg, or what, some penguins, like men, or like the male penguins sit on the egg, help with that, and then, might go get the food. So we need to be a little family unit for actual survival. So if my man and I oxytocin bond, and then he's like, peace out, or I know I'm going to go find another penguin to share intimacy with. The reason we get nuts is because we feel like our life is in danger.
Our survival is being threatened, basically.
Yes. And women often get this rap of, they're crazy, and I acted crazy, in that context, or felt crazy. It manifested as more just pretending I didn't care and hurting myself. But it was like, that's the thing. It's so primal. Connection is so primal. Right. And so if we're rejected, obviously, then we're left to fend for ourselves, and we don't feel safe. And then we react, our nervous system is triggered. And so that's the whole thing behind that. So I wanted to write the book to help people. How do we love ourselves? Like, you got to love yourself, but how? When at 2 years old, I'm told I'm ugly, and I'm not invited to the birthday party because I'm weird. Like, kids said things like,
right.
I still remember it. Whoever that little 3-year-old, 4-year-old girl was, she said, right in front of me, she said, I'm inviting everyone in the class to my party except for Shannon. And that was like the constant. And so I started to think, like, I'm not lovable. I'm not enough. I have to prove myself. I have to say yes.
Go this extra mile just to be like baseline accepted.
And in 12-step, we learned that when the people stop pleasing, the people aren't pleased. So we just learn to fawn. And, they'll like me if I'm nice. They can't not like me. And if I put myself down first, and they can't put me down. So I became funny, and it's like these sort of adaptations to try to like make sure that we're accepted, to the point of like throwing ourselves under the bus, putting ourselves in risky situations.
Calling yourself a name before somebody else gets a chance to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what does that do to your soul and your spirit?
Right.
And I wanted to share that. And I thought, so much of this is a spiritual journey, but I don't want to alienate people who might not be spiritual with this book. So I decided to cut all that out. But then, before I even wrote it, I was like, maybe I won't go there. It might alienate people. But then I just was like, okay, I have 35,000 words, and I'm just stuck right now. Okay, now what? Like, okay, this is my story. Here's some things about how I healed. Here's what we know about attachment styles. And here's what about self-love, and why we don't love ourselves, and how we can love ourselves more. And how do we just love ourselves? And I realized, but the spiritual, like, I couldn't for a month. I just sat there, and then suddenly I'm like, put the spiritual stuff back in. And that's when it was like, oh, okay, now we're flowing. Because really, and I give a disclaimer. If you're not spiritual, you don't have to believe in this, but just take what I'm saying and apply it. The bottom line is, how do we love ourselves? Is like, we are all worthy beings. By virtue of being a human being, we are all worthy of love. Full stop. Now,
I love that.
Yeah, like, we're all, I say child of God. I'm not religious, but like, we're all children of God. We're all, in my belief system, literally, we're all one. Like, you and I are the same thing.
Right.
But we're stuffed into different bodies to be mirrors for each other.
Right. I totally believe the same thing, that we're all fractals of source.
Yep.
And, that extremely resonates with me. I mean, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual,
Yeah, me too.
Right. And I don't like organized religion. I think it was created to control the masses. And, I don't need to go through somebody else to know God. All I have to do is look within myself, I feel like.
Yes.
Because we are all God, or we are all part of the same source. We're all fractals of the same thing.
Yep. And so if you tell someone that, who's in addiction or whatever, and they're like suicidal, or they're dealing with mental health issues or whatever, who cares? Like, great. When I've been in my deep, dark depressions of I don't want to be here anymore, if you told me, but you're a child of God, I would have been like, F you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
And so I've kind of talked about how this is stuff I learned in the 12-step rooms. And I was someone who was like, I am not doing whole hand holding, a mantra. No, we don't do group activities. But the 12-step program has a structure for a reason, and it's really, 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 really works. And you have to let go of control, but also what gave me self-esteem, acting with integrity. So taking contrary action. So when I want to act out in some way, take the contrary action. Like, oh my God, I really want to do this drug or whatever. It's like, how about instead calling a fellow? How about calling someone from program and saying, I'm really wanting to, whatever you do, whatever you act out with. Okay, and it's hard. It's like, oh my God. But the more you do it, you're like, I now feel good about myself because I made the choice of integrity, being of service to others. And you don't even have to do big service to others. You don't have to join a volunteer organization. It's like holding a door open for someone who's struggling, or smile at somebody. Just continuously show love. Be there to support a friend who's going through a hard time. Like, get outside your own anxious mind.
Yeah.
Because I was going to a sex and love addiction therapist, and he told me I was a narcissist. And I was like, I am not I am the most other-centered, like empathic person. I've always cared deeply. But would a person like that, sleep with a married person or do, whatever, like these things that I did were not of integrity, and they did not, they were not in alignment with who I am and my soul. They were acts of fear and and I need to hold on. I need to cling to, I need to, and so those weren't in alignment. And, but I was doing them. I need validation or I'll die. Like, I don't care who this person, I just need them to soothe me. I don't know how to soothe myself. So it's coming up with like, what soothes you? And when you're feeling depressed and scared, not a lot does when you're in the trenches.
Yeah.
But when you start to learn that over time, meditation, for example, might really start to make, first you're sobbing and you're like, I hate this, I want to do this. Sometimes going to a meeting was like, I feel like I just want to die, but I'm going to show up for that meeting and put my butt in the seat, and the whole time feel like my heart's caving in and I'm going to throw up. But I'm here. I chose to be here. And little by little, you start to build self-esteem because you're like, oh, I did something good. I didn't lie today. I didn't have to make up a lie. Like, I didn't have to lie to myself or anybody else because I got myself into some kind of tricky situation or crossed a boundary with somebody, and now I have to backpedal out of it. And over time, it was like I became so to myself. It was like yoga. When I'm feeling bad, I'm just like, I know that I need yoga. I know that I need to go on a hike. I know I need to hang out with a really great, uplifting friend who's a healthy person, who's emotionally sober, and like be inspired, or go or listen to like an inspirational video. And now it comes automatically. I don't find myself in depressions anymore because I'm like, I already know what this is. I already feel something coming up. I already know. And so self-love comes from action. It's not just, well, I guess I like myself. It's not looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. I love you. Although please do that too, because really look into your own eyes and be like, I love you. I love you. I love you. Like Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian spiritual practice of, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. No, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And what that does is that we are all one. So like if you piss me off or wrong me or hurt me, I can say Ho'oponopono for you because you're just me. So it's just saying,
True.
I'm speaking on behalf of the collective of like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And then I'm also healing myself and anything I'm holding on to. So we're clearing out negative energy. And also when you say those words, don't you just get chills through your body? I mean, I do.
Yeah.
But like when I say I love you, it's like, those are like, if you say to a plant, I love you, you're beautiful. The plant will thrive. If you say that to an animal, a baby, a child, if you say mean words to water or a plant or an animal or a baby, you're hurting them.
Shout out Dr. Emoto.
Yes. You're not going to thrive when angry words are being hurled at you and absorbed into your energy. So let's clear that shit out. Let's just
Right,
continue to say, sometimes even just beauty, love, peace, God, whatever words are beautiful will elevate and just say, I now release, I now release, I let go, I let go, I let go. So those are like examples of how do we really love ourselves? Well, it's not just something that we just decide. It should be. We're born that way, but we're deconditioned. I don't know if that's we're like conditioned.
We're programmed away from it.
Yeah.
I feel like, right.
Conditioned and programmed away from it based off of like societal norms and religious requirements and all kinds of things. Oh, my dog is going nuts. I feel like that's validation.
I know. I didn't even hear the dog. Yeah, it is. And so it's really about, even if you don't believe in God or whatever, even if you're an atheist, there's still something to, if I act with integrity, then I really like myself. And I can say, you know what? I did a good thing today. I was kind to somebody. I didn't do something that makes me feel like trash about myself. Because the more you take that next drink or disrespect somebody or cross a boundary with somebody or hurt somebody, even if you didn't mean to, you're going to feel like a piece of trash. And you're not a piece of trash. You're a soul having a human experience in a human body, and you have been traumatized, indoctrinated. You might be mentally ill, but you are not a bad person. You're not evil at your core.
Right.
You might have a mental illness that makes you do bad things. You might have been indoctrinated by somebody very bad so that you learned these things. You might have been abused and traumatized to the point where now you're the abuser, but you weren't born bad. I don't think. I don't think evil is in it. I don't think a soul is. It's possible for a soul to just be evil incarnate and come into this world and just like, I'm here to terrorize everybody. The people who terrorize are people that have been hurt, wounded.
Hurt people. Yeah, exactly.
Hurt people. And it doesn't excuse it.
No.
So people have a hard time accepting that when I say we're not bad, we're not evil. They do evil things. People can do evil things.
Correct. Yeah.
But when they go back to the light, they're just light again. They might have to do some work on the other side. They might be at a lower vibration.
Right.
They're going to have that life review where it's like, you did not make good choices.
Nope.
And what did you learn? And are you willing to do better? And do you want to grow, or do you want to stay stuck in the dark? And so I think that's where lower vibrational entities come from. Like they're not quite there yet, but I don't personally believe that there's like heaven and hell, and your punishment is you burn in hell for eternity. There are layers of like lower densities. You might not quite be ready to evolve to up here. So you might need to dwell more and do some time and maybe come back again and see what choices you make this time. And this time you're the abused.
Yeah, that's
all right.
What I was
why
thinking.
Don't we send you back? And like this time you get abused. And I don't like to, I hate to say that because I don't want anyone who's been abused to think that I'm implying that they caused it or chose it or that they deserve it. Yeah. It's not that at all. But that's the tricky thing about some of this is some of it is the way I understand it works over there, but it can be taken the wrong way because it's so hard to imagine not being human.
Yeah.
So it's not to victim blame or say like, well, you probably did something bad in a bad life. It's like, that isn't it. And that's not always even the case.
Right.
You might have something else to learn from something terrible that happened to you. But that's kind of like a summary. So
I feel like I've had like so many thoughts about so many different things after like everything that we've been talking about so far.
Wait, I don't have my glass. Oh, the power of now.
Yeah.
I was like, I took my glasses off because there was a bad glare in them, but yes.
So yeah, this was one of the things that I wanted to bring up since you mentioned it, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The reason why I'm physically holding this book in my hand is because I'm not sure are you familiar with who Jessie Reyez is? The singer. She's a Canadian singer.
I don't.
Okay, well, anyway, she's amazing. We just saw her in concert like 2 weekends
awesome.
ago. But she's also very spiritual. And through her Discord, I got the opportunity to ask her what's her favorite book. And this was her favorite book. So I'm like, okay, I need to get that one, So I thought that was very relevant. And the fact that we just saw her is a really cool synchronicity. So that's cool, too.
That's amazing. I'll probably start seeing her everywhere now.
Oh, you right?
Because you mentioned it, and that's how things work. And also, I was a music booker for years, and I'm like friends with tons and tons of songwriters and singers. So I probably should know her, but I've been out of the scene for a little bit. So now I'll be like, oh, Jessie Reyez, of course, but but it's such a, important book because we're always thinking about the past or the future. Well, as humans, we do that.
Yeah. They said when you dwell in the past, that's called depression. And then when you focus too much on the future, that's anxiety. So you just got to realize that all we literally have is this moment right now. Like right now. Still right now. It's never not right now, so.
And I will just want to also give a shout out to my dear friend, Chris Pierce, who's an incredible musician. If you ever see him playing, his shows are like going to church. Chris Pierce has a song called All That Matters Is Now. And I hope that you will reference that. That's the whole thing is, okay, so it's like in this current moment, there are difficulties happening in my, it's like, but at this moment, there are things going on with family and there's like things with finances and all that. But it's like in this moment, I have this roof over my head. I'm breathing. I have food in my refrigerator. The weather's beautiful. I'm sitting here with you. Like my skin feels nice. It's like lukewarm. I have such great friends. I have such like amazing family. I love my family. I love my friends. Everything's like beautiful. So, okay, finances, I'm struggling. And it'll work out. Like if I focus on that, what'll happen is I'll spend all this energy. My mom always said, why worry about it now? Well, you'll have plenty of time to worry when the worst case scenario happens. Like,
right?
Why waste your energy now if something's bad's gonna happen? Well, then worry about it. Then great, give it your attention. But right now, why are you giving anything attention? And so it's like, just remember go back to your body. How does the air feel?
Right.
Remember that I'm a soul living. I'm just a soul and a spirit. And I might spiritually bypass a little sometimes and be like, it doesn't matter because we're living in a simulation. It's all a dream. I tattooed life is but a dream on my arm.
Oh,
so
cute.
It's like, remember, take it seriously. It matters. Love we have for people matters. The grief we feel when we lose them matters. People are suffering. That matters. People are hurting each other. That matters very much. And it doesn't mean just pretend it's not happening. But also, just remember, it is kind of a dream and we can only control so much.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we can help these things is not by panicking and freaking out. It is we have to hold our center as much as we can so that we can be of service to other people. So even if it's just prayer, because there's nothing I can do about what's happening in the Middle East. I can't help that. I wish everyone could just have a near-death experience and stop it already. Just
or take a DMT trip, whichever,
Yes, please. Just ayahuasca all around.
Right.
I literally said to him, I'm like, can we just spike the world with DMT or ayahuasca? Like, can we just everybody all at once just be like on a journey?
Can we just put all the politicians? And I don't take crap. I'm not talking about one. I'm not going to say anything about one or the other. I'm saying all of them.
All of them. Round them up.
Round them up.
I think we should make that a requirement that you have to go through at least 5 ayahuasca trips, ceremonies before you can hold office.
Yes. You might have seen it. There was an AI, which I hate because of voiceover. It's taking, work away, but it's taking so much work away from so many people. And it can be a handy tool. And there was this AI generated mini film that was going around Facebook where it was Biden and Trump, but whatever it was, they did an ayahuasca journey. It was like they did an ayahuasca journey together in this mini movie, and it was just great. And I thought, God, if that would be so amazing.
If you can find that link and send it to me, I would love to see it.
I'm sure I can.
Please.
No, it wasn't even Biden. I think it was Putin, which would be more apt.
Either would
which would be more apt. Whatever it was, it was like, it was Putin, and it was like they just taken an ayahuasca trip together, and they're just like, man,
Furman told me to go to Peru and do ayahuasca with his shaman. I thought it'd help with the election, give me that edge. But what happened next, I wasn't ready.
really something.
I saw it all. Greed, lies, my father's lack of love, my mother's coldness. Demons, dark entities, everything I'd buried came rushing out. It was brutal and life-changing. So I left politics to heal myself. I gave away most of my possessions and I went to India, meditated with the gurus, met all the mystics, studied all the metaphysical schools, seeking the truth. I did every therapy, somatic experiencing, breathwork, and parts work. You wouldn't believe the things I tried. I purged everything I thought made me great. Slowly, the suffering started to fade. I started sharing what I'd learned. I created something bigger, holding space for others, an intentional community, and I led with love, guiding people to reconnect with their higher selves. They say I'm the greatest shaman now. Nobody does it better, and maybe they're right. It's a new kind of winning, one where I lead others to peace.
What are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing
That's
here?
what we need to get to, because all this warring is just friggin' ridiculous.
It is. Yeah.
Yes. And I consider myself a spiritualist, which means that I see things I believe that we can connect with those on the other side. I believe that there is no space between. The other realms are really just other dimensions, but they're just at different vibrations. So like the only reason that we can't see your dad right now with our eyes, and some people might be able to, is just because he's just in another room. But his frequency is so high and we're so dense that we just can't see him. But he's literally right here. Yeah. And it sucks because you can't hug him, and you can't, you want to hang out with him, and you want to you want to go fishing with him or whatever it is. But he's literally just like, I'm right here, son. I'm right here. I'm literally sitting right here. And Laura Lynn Jackson, the medium, says that life is just a play. And then after it's all over, we just go backstage and hug it out. And we're like, that was good job, you guys. You fucked me over. You pissed me off. But we chose that ahead of time. Like, we chose to have a difficult relationship. So I'm not mad at you. I love you. And that's one thing I want people to know is Spirit is never mad at you.
Right.
Ever. I don't care what you did. Even if it's bad. Spirit does not retain anger and hard feelings. They understand that this is a play we acted out together. So thank you for teaching me this. Thank you for helping me grow. Thank you for helping me learn to speak up.
Right.
You hurt me so that I could grow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know why, for some reason, for like the past 20 minutes, I feel like somebody's screaming in my head, ask you about Stacy. Do you know Stacy? I don't know why. It's weird. It's like,
no, but this is what
somebody's screaming at me. Ask her about Stacy.
You need to listen. Yeah, no.
I don't know off the top of my head, but but we could explore that. Because I think that's what I tell people. Trust it. Don't question it.
Okay.
Even if I say no, there's a reason why you're hearing it in your head.
Yeah.
And I'm even trying to think.
I love that you listen to that, though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always tell people it doesn't matter there might be something, and there might be something that oftentimes.
Okay.
I could even reach out to you and go, oh my God, I got this job. And it was Stacy. It was this woman named Stacy that called me.
It could be something that happens a day or so from now. It doesn't have to be.
It happens because we call that psychic amnesia, that in the moment you're like, do I know a Stacy? Also, there could be someone named Stacy I didn't know died. And then suddenly I'm like, there was that girl from high school. And then I'm like, oh my God, she did die. Stuff like that. So I'll keep that in mind. But often I do know a person named Stacy, not very well. But it could be like a friend that just you might need to reach out to them. Like, hey, check what's going on. So one time I was sitting with my parents at dinner and I heard Charming Charlie. And that's a store. Like it's kind of like a old lady fashion show at fashion store. And sorry if anyone isn't an old lady and likes Charming Charlie, but it's just it's like golden. It's kind of got a Golden Girls vibe to it, with like their fashions. But moms like to shop there, and like older moms. And so I'm like, who would that be? What was that about? And then I remembered that my mom had said, oh, we have this friend Charlie, and he is just so charming. Like everyone loves Charlie. So I just turned to my dad. I'm like, have you talked to Charlie lately? He's like, they mention it. It's got like a weird email from him. And I was like, you need to check on Charlie. And then it turned out that he had been hospitalized.
Oh.
And he had a psychotic episode. And he didn't even know he was bipolar, but like he ended up in the hospital. And he goes, my dad's a total businessman, like not spiritual in the least.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? I'm like, that's when I finally came out of I kind of came out of the closet to him, and we went on a walk. I was like, so I want to tell you about what I do. And he goes, but how do you know it's not just like you're reading people's energy? I go, but if I am, isn't that awesome? How do you know it's just not psychic? I'm like, but isn't that cool? What if it is? But that's a good question, because like I could be just psychic. Every medium is psychic. Not every psychic is a medium. A psychic is just, I'm reading your energy. So I might be able to tell you what you're doing right now, or like something that came up for you, or like you're writing something in a journal or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh yeah. And then like, I saw you cooking and it feels like you're making green shakes, and it's because you're trying to get healthier or whatever the thing is, right? And so then I'm just reading you. So yeah, could I be like, well, I'm also reading that he has a dad, like his dad passed, and I'm also, which you told me, but I'm also feeling like, now I could be picking up on that from you, except when I get full body chills, I feel spirit with me. It's like a different thing than I'm just knowing something about you. Like, oh, did you used to be like religious and then you switched to spirituality? Because, it's like I saw like a Bible and sort of like a cross, and then being like putting that aside and kind of going to spirituality or something like that. That's more of like a personal energy thing. Whereas your dad comes to me as, oh, I can feel. Did he have a heart issue? Like heart surgery or something?
No.
I think that's how he passed.
I just saw that okay, because that's how I saw that he passed, was from the heart.
Yeah.
So to me, the way I know that is because he makes me feel, I don't feel pain. So I always tell people, don't worry. I'm not, when I say I'm feeling it, I'm not in pain. It feels, there's extra energy around my heart. And often if it's a heart attack, like I'll feel like a pressure in my chest, or my arm will go numb. Like this arm will go numb. But also a stroke can be, I suddenly feel weakness in my arms. Like I can't lift my arms. I'm like this. And I'm like, that means someone had a stroke. If I get really dizzy, I go, okay, is it bipolar? Is it dementia? Or is it alcoholism? And then I feel into that. And I just go, first thing that comes in, what feels right? It's like, if I get dizzy, there's something going on with the head. So there's either, when I died, I was drunk, or I drank a lot, or I just was not in my right mind, or I was bipolar in my life. And so I wasn't quite thinking right. And the reason they bring that up is to say, like, I acknowledge that I wasn't consistent in my moods, and like, I'm sorry, so different things can mean different things, but it's sometimes the same thing. But I'm still learning to differentiate, like, that feels more like I just can't speak at the end. And then if I feel a stomach ache a little bit, like it's almost like the memory of a stomach ache. My stomach doesn't actually hurt. It's like I remember what it feels like when you feel sick.
Right.
I'm like, oh God, I'm nauseous, but I'm not really. And it's like, oh, then I can assume this person had liver cancer, or like it feels like they might have had stomach lining cancer. Or so that's how I know I'm not just reading your energy. I'm like also feeling physical sensations, and I'm also getting the sense of like their personality. And it's like, so you could remember it. So for me, like your dad feels like, is he kind of a wise ass? Like, does he tease you in a weird way? Or does John? It's like there's somebody that feels like a little bit of a wise ass in terms of like joke, but in a joking sort of a way. And that could also be John, right? But it's like he feels like he has a good sense of humor. Like he doesn't feel like Mr. Funny Guy, but just somebody that's like has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, that's totally my dad.
Okay, yeah, it's not like comedian funny.
Right.
It's just
but
dad joke funny.
He's got some zingers.
It's dad joke funny, where it's like, you're not going to describe your dad as funny, but he thinks he's funny. It's like, he's going to, and that's why I say wise ass, where he's like, oh, throw it, and you're like, yeah, dad, stop. Like just these like, these like dorky jokes where you're like, yeah, that wasn't really funny. Almost like, it reminds me of like Tom Arnold's sense of humor, in the sense that he's kind of like a dumb sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's kind of like doofy, a little like kind of doofy in his sense of humor.
Yeah, I can
I'm not
totally.
saying,
I can
yeah,
totally
like he
see
doesn't
that.
necessarily look like him. It's just sort of like, although he kind of does look like he looks like you a little bit, like dark hair. I mean, like I know I could guess that, but I do feel like you really do resemble him a lot.
I do.
A lot.
Yeah, like a lot. It's
A
almost
lot,
like
yeah.
know that your dad is like totally your
I
spirit
totally
bestie,
know that he's with me,
you do,
and
yeah.
I've known that he's been with me since he passed away. I mean,
Good.
there were so many signs,
Yeah.
so many angel numbers that we saw on the way up to Kansas, where his funeral was. And I've said this before on the show, but my oldest sister needed help getting to Kansas to where his funeral was, and so I bought her plane ticket for her. And on the way up there, on top of seeing angel numbers everywhere, my nickname that he gave me was Just Right, because for my name, Justin,
Yeah.
and then right, and then that's my last name. So anyway,
Just in time.
yeah, was just right and just in time.
Yeah.
Right. So the just in time thing has always, I was just right and I was just in time. Okay.
In my life too, just saying.
So on the way up there, we drove past the 18-wheeler tractor trailer, and it said just in time. That was the name of the company. Right. I was like, oh my God, that's Dad.
That's crazy.
And as we got into the city, my bank account had the same exact number to the cents and everything that my sister's plane ticket was.
It was like repeating numbers.
How is that?
Numbers.
Right.
Yeah. His dad shows up a lot. He even showed up as a dragonfly once at a Sammy Hagar concert.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So my mom, after he had passed away, my mom, she would always see all these dragonflies, and she told me, she said, I think that's Dad flying around me. He always loved dragonflies, so I think that's him. Oh. And literally a week later, we went to see Sammy Hagar, and a dragonfly landed on Sammy's microphone as he's singing.
Literally.
On stage.
Like, I just got chills. Dad.
Right.
So I'm like, oh God.
Oh,
yeah, it's great. Yeah.
That's so cute.
So
I
definitely know that he's here. He's with me.
Yeah.
He gives me signs all the time.
I know, and that's the.
I love you, Dad.
Oh, I know he loves you too. It's like I love that, and I think that's sort of like my mission in life is I want people to know that. Like, I want people to know that this isn't all there is, which Teresa Caputo always says that on her podcast, that this life isn't all there is, or whatever, but it's like, it is important. We do matter. Our connections matter. Our love matters, but you will never really be apart. So we're all going to suffer loss and grief, and it hurts so much on that primal level. As we talked about earlier, when you lose someone that you're bonded with, it is the most painful feeling. And it doesn't mean that like what I do can fix that. But what I hope is that what I do, including the podcast, listening to people's testimonials about near-death experiences, that you will see each other again in the same form.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like saying they're there when you don't feel them only goes so far, but knowing that you will be in their spirit arms again, in their energy again.
Yeah.
It's like we are never not going to see someone again. It's not going to be the same. We're not going to be in our bodies, but you're going to feel them again.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so I just always hope, and I think that does bring hope. And to me too.
Near-death experiences really saved me from a dark mental place that I was in. And I really feel like, just knowing that we still go on and that we're met with compassion and love and not judgment and ridicule, like I was brought up to believe. And, just the fact that like you're met with compassion and like you have the whole life review thing is like mind-blowing to me. Like the idea of experiencing me from the people around me's experience from their perspective, like, oof, I need to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, NDEs, like they really were a catalyst on my spiritual journey. So I find that very relevant that they were also, a catalyst or some part of yours as well. And there's just like so many synchronicities for the things that we've been talking about. I mean, I'm still mind blown by the fact that Derek showed me a rubber duck, like
Yeah.
random AF.
Just
I
like
said
that.
it out loud. Yeah, and I want to talk about that actually because I studied animal communication, which is the study of communicating with animals, plants, and landscapes through telepathy. And when we were in the first phases of the classes, we were practicing mediumship, and it's just like you said, you have to really learn to not only get quiet and listen, but to then trust yourself. Like if I would have sat there and doubted the rubber ducky thing and said, oh, that doesn't make any sense, why would I say that out loud, and then moved on to something else, then we wouldn't have had that moment. But I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm seeing a rubber duck, I'm gonna say rubber duck, and look at how relevant it turned out to be. Like I didn't think that had any major relevance, but it does. So like, I don't know, I just find this conversation really, really cool.
Me too. And I think that's the thing is we have to relax. And as a professional medium, I'm not going to say, you're like, okay, this person paid me money. They took their time. We're getting on. Like, what if this doesn't work? Like, I always ask to have my own ego removed. I'm like, just take it away. All you have to do is just literally relax. You're not doing anything. Spirit's doing everything. And I got asked to do a group reading recently, and it was the first time I've ever done one in person. And really it was like probably one of the only few I've done a group reading. And they were like, it's this med spa, it's for the ladies, it's for after our work. We want to have a little thing. And I'm like, oh my God, what if I suck? What if this sucks? What if it's bad? And as soon as I walked through the door, I felt full body tingles. And I was like, okay, that's a good sign. And then I saw a pig. And I texted my friend Shannon Rock, who's an incredible medium. And I said, okay, I don't know. I'm seeing a pig and I'm doubting myself. And she goes, do not doubt yourself. Say what you see. And she goes, you don't have to do anything. You literally just have to be. So I got up in front of this group of women and I said, there's a pig here that's showing me sleeping in the dog bed, hanging out with all the dogs. She goes, and this woman's like, that's my pig, Daisy. Oh. And she sent me pictures of Daisy sleeping in the dog bed. And I was like,
oh my God.
And then Daisy told me more about their journey together. And it was like, then I was like, we're off to the races. And I literally, at the minute I got that hit, it was the best reading I ever did in my entire life. It was just the stuff that came through. Oh my God. I was like, what? How on earth? And it's like the key, relax, trust, think, don't think, let it fall in. Just say it. Just blurt it out. Don't even worry about judgment. It's so hard to do because we're always told you got to perform. And as an actor, I'm like, I got to know my lines. What if I don't know my lines? And it's like, guess what? There are no lines. You're jumping off a cliff into nothingness, and you just have to trust that Spirit's going to catch you.
So I just got a mental image of jumping off a cliff into nothingness. There's a meme that we use a lot, and it's a person standing in a galaxy, and he jumps and he disappears straight into the center of the galaxy.
Like dives in, yeah.
So that's it.
Cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So Shannon, I have a question that I like to ask of all of our guests. It's kind of a doozy, but so anyway, what is your greatest hope for the future of humanity?
Oh, that's beautiful. I always, at my podcast, I always end with, what do you want people to know? First thing that comes to, I'm like, don't overthink it. Just what is the biggest, most important, if you had one thing to say to humanity, what would it be? Like, just... and
now it's your turn to answer.
Yeah, so it's my greatest hope for the future of humanity. Easy. Simple, easy, that we all come back to the center of ourselves and find love for ourselves and others, and wake up to the fact that there's this division is an illusion and that there is no other.
Right.
Everything that's happening in this world that is hurt and is fear. It's all fear. And I want us all to just get back to love. And I know it sounds like hippy-dippy Pollyanna. I know that probably won't happen at least anytime soon. But there are near-death experiences that say we are getting there. And in fact, all the disruption is because we need to wake up. And so this is not bad, what's happening, even though it's bad. By our standards, it's bad. But from a spiritual perspective, there is no bad. It's only collapsing. Everything's collapsing so that we can rebuild. And one near-death experiencer, this is a good thing to keep in mind and take it with a grain of salt. She said that herself. When she went to the other side, she's like, I don't want to scare anybody, but also it's good. She's like, there's going to be sort of like a big World War III cataclysmic thing. And a lot of people are going to die. She's like, I don't know when. I just saw this. Like, it just happened. I watched it happening because there's no sure where it's happening all at the same time. So she witnessed it in the timeline. But then those who survive rebuild agrarian societies. We go back to communal living. We've gotten too big, too much expansion to the point where now we know everything horrible that's happening with everyone. And all of us are on Prozac because we can't handle that. What we really need is villages. We need to get each other's back, feed each other, house each other, hold each other.
Yeah.
People who are mentally ill and need help. No one in this world should ever be without a house to live in.
Right.
No one in this world should ever not have a shower, a toilet, food, and shelter. I don't care what at all costs, every single human being deserves love.
Right.
And deserves compassion and deserves the basic human rights of like self-care, of being able to survive and not have to be like rotting in the streets. So, and war, I just want everyone to have a near-death experience and take ayahuasca and realize that you're fighting yourselves. Stop it.
Right. Literally.
You're fearing each other. What if you just loved each other? Like, what if you could see humanity in the other person? And like, you are, and we could all just stop. Okay, we just all get in. Can we all just get along? And I don't know. It's probably idealistic, but that's really, really. I really hope we get to that place. The agrarian society, she said, will be more like we will still have technology. Like we won't just like throw our phones in the sea.
Yeah.
But like we're going to be more focused on villages. And like I've been going to women's circles. People used to do that. We'd sit in circle. We would face each other. We would share openly, vulnerably. Men especially need that. I want men, I mean, we all have our things, but I want men to heal. They've been like indoctrinated out of their sensitivity and their vulnerability.
Yeah.
And they're suffering. And we suffer as women in different ways. And men suffer in not being, a lot of them, not able to be vulnerable and to be safe, to embrace their feminine side. And women we're having to take on a very masculine role, not in relation. I just mean in general.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we aren't totally capable and strong and smart and we can do all the things. I myself am finding burnout from I'm single. I do this all by myself and I'm tired. And I'm like, I love to work. I love to be productive and I can do the work. But I've gotten so like, I'm tough. I can handle it. So we all need to get back to our feeling selves, our emotional selves, and be able to be like, maybe I just need rest. Maybe I just need to be held. I just don't, and so I think we all need to get back to our soul selves and take care of one another in turn in the same way, nurture each other.
Yeah, I love that answer.
Yeah, to all of that. I think you're an amazing person. And I would really, really like for you to tell our audience, like, where they can find you online, what services you offer, what things you maybe have, what things you may have coming up that you're excited about. Just go ahead. But spotlight's on you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And but that's what I always ask my guests too. And I really appreciate that. You can email me directly at magicisrealshannon@gmail.com. You can book a session at magicisrealservices.com. Sometimes I just like you to say, hey, I'd like a reading. And then, it just sometimes works out better at this time. And then I teach mediumship workshops on how just like I did for you right now.
Yeah.
I do some short ones. I'm going to do another one. I have to get that organized. And I'll put that, I'm on Instagram, which is where I announce all that stuff. So Real Magic Shannon. And then, I think it's, I'm on TikTok also, and I just can't remember the handle, but that's where I kind of announce a lot of stuff. So Real Magic Shannon on Instagram, if you're on there, and Facebook. And then, so I teach with a friend of mine who's an indigenous medium. She serves the Native American community. And then we're starting up again in September. That's a 4-week class. Ooh. We will have dates coming up, announcements coming up. Ooh. And, but yeah, you can also just email and say magicisrealshannon@gmail.com. I want to be added to your mailing list. I don't send out like newsletters because I just know that I just don't have time to read other people's. But I will say, hey, I'm teaching a class, or that sort of thing. And let me know if you don't mind an occasional email just letting you know when I'm teaching mediumship and if you'd like a reading with me. So thank you so much for asking.
And you are also on YouTube. Don't forget your YouTube.
Thank you. This is where I need you. It is, yes. And I think it's Magic is Real
111.
111. Thank you. And I know you'll have links and whatever, but thank you. So the podcast, yes. And I have another podcast I just started. Sorry, this is so long. Called Still Standing. And I'll send you the link. And it's small now, but I want to grow it. And I interview people that have experienced extremely traumatic things or really terrible difficulties. And they have come out not perfect, still human, but thriving despite their obstacles and challenges. And that's called Still Standing. I have to send you, I'll send you the link like right now.
Wow,
so
that's
put it up. And it's I'm so proud of it. It's just that I'm realizing, this isn't as like, not getting the followers just because no one knows it's there. And Instagram and TikTok aren't necessarily the way to like, I'm like, so, and consistency, and it takes time to grow. So Real Magic, Magic is Real is my baby, and then Still Standing came out of it. So
awesome.
Would love for you to check them out. And thank you. You guys have a great podcast, and you're such wonderful, beautiful people.
Thank
you so much.
I'm so happy to be in your sphere now to actually listen to your podcast episodes because I really
absolutely. Thank you for sharing all those things and for those compliments.
I will share all over my. You'll see. I'll make clips and we'll so I'll
perfect.
push your stuff too and tag you in all the things.
I always tell people that we make content with that whatever comes from this, the content is just as much yours as it is mine. So if you want to screen record it, make sure it's
go for it.
That's what I do.
Whatever they're called, go ahead. It's yours also.
Excited about it. And I just appreciate that we're all in this together, that we're doing this work together, which is not to make us sound like we're doing this important work, but we are doing important work.
Though.
I mean, all podcasts are. It's like we're sharing with like-minded people and finding our community for one. And then also just really provide, I hope that my podcast and yours, I believe, does help people to find that peace with death. Because everyone's afraid of death. That's all the fear in the world is a fear of death. And so can we take the fear out of death and then maybe we will stop fighting so much?
The one super inevitable thing for anybody that's born, right?
So we have to make peace with it and we have to accept it. And let's not just accept it, embrace it.
Right.
And acknowledge that grief is a bitch and we hate it. But also if we didn't love as deeply, we wouldn't be feeling the grief. And it's just part of the deal. And we didn't ask for it. But we're here and we have to ride the wave in a Buddhist fashion and we got to go with the current. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite mottos is to grow with the flow. And I feel like if we live in such a way so that like when we do have our life review, we're actually like proud of the person that we're like experiencing again, like that, that would be great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I already know what I'm going to be shown. I'm like, I know I already got on and I went to 12-step. I got it. I've done my amends. I know, but I'm probably going to have to see it again. And it's okay. It's like, all right, it's going to be hard, but there's no judgment. It's just, let's review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was harsh. I really wish I had made a different choice there.
Right.
Now we can. Now we have the opportunity.
Right. Well, thank you so much for contributing to this conversation and to this space. I'm really glad for us to be able to experience this. The reading that you got from her was like spot on, amazing.
Right.
Still blown by the rubber duck thing.
There is one other thing that I don't think I mentioned. 3 years ago, I had a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, which is a mini stroke. So 3 years ago, I had a mini stroke. I
was going to ask if someone had a stroke because I'm like, okay, now I'm also feeling the tingling down my arms.
Yeah.
And then for some weird reason, I just saw a little nest with eggs in it, like I don't know if it's chicken eggs or a bluebird or something. But do you have like chickens or I just saw a whole bunch of eggs in a nest.
So we have 2 pigeons that I rescued from my work.
And we call them our chickens. Like,
okay.
The theme is chickens. Like when I go take care of them, I'm like, hi, chickens. It's so funny though, because they're like both male pigeons, but I give them female nicknames from a different species. So they probably have like a whole misidentification thing going on with their
I saw you had pet I actually saw my sister has chickens and I was like seeing the coop and the eggs in the nest. And I was going to ask, do you guys have chickens? Because that's what I'm seeing. So I think that was a symbol for chickens because I'm like, they have chickens. So that's what I mean. It like comes through as like a chicken egg in a nest. And so that's the way of just acknowledging your pigeons.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
I love that.
It's cool.
I love it.
I love it. It's so fun.
And her dogs are out there revolting by flipping their food dishes around. I
Tell them I'm sorry. And thank you so much.
No, it is all good. I just find it funny that's like validation. I find like things like that as validation for whatever's being spoken about at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I do
my
too.
dogs were like, yeah, us too. Anyway.
I know. That's so cute. Yeah, I know. My cat's probably like, where is my dinner, bitch?
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for your patience earlier and for waiting. I just knew, I was like, nope, today's the day. It's gonna happen today. So
right.
What an honor. Thank you. This is so fun.
Absolutely. And for our audience that's sticking around, please do us a favor and smash that like button, click subscribe, ring our little notification bell, drop a lovely comment down below, and then share this video with your family and friends to help us spread the good word. Okay, we do a quick little 3-piece closer. I'll show it to you real quick, and then if you're open to join us, that'd be great. We do much love, peace, and namaste. Are you open to joining us for that?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Much love, peace,
and namaste.
Namaste.